Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about a friggin' readathon. Now, I have only participated in, I think 2 or 3 readathons this year, and they were in January and February. After that, I said, no thank you. I was getting a little, not burnt out on readathons, because like genuinely, I love readathons. I see so many pop up that I'm like, ugh, I want to participate. But I am just such a mood reader, and I was finding that doing all these readathons every month was kind of making me feel boxed in, even though obviously I can pick whatever books I want, but like you're trying to find specific books to fit certain prompts, and you get to pick them, of course, but it does box you in a little bit on the books that you're picking. So I just said this year, no more readathons, but Neeks at Nika Marie, well actually what is her channel name? Yeah, her channel name is Neeks, okay. I was like, I'm not totally sure. At any rate, she came up with the Bad Bitch Readathon, and it looks like so much fun. And there's only 4 prompts, and it's for the entire month of September, so like very doable. And yeah, I just really wanted to participate in this one. It just was so much fun. I will have linked down below the web page for it. And she made a song, and it's so much fun. Oh my God, go check it out, like please. And I'll have her announcement video also linked down below. If you're not subscribed to Neeks or following her on Twitter, go do all the things because she's genuinely amazing. So let's get into the books that I have selected. The first prompt is Bad Bitch. Read a book with an overall bad bitch main character. They love themselves, protect their loved ones fiercely, and will do everything they can to succeed. Now, I don't have a lot of these books yet because a couple of them are like requested from the library, and a couple of them are on their way to me. So one of these I don't have, and it was one that Neeks put on her like recommendations list for these prompts, and that is Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. And this is actually one of my Pushina Corn pick options for September to December. So if it wins, then this will be like a twofer for me. It'll fulfill that, and then it'll also fulfill one of these prompts. And I also, another one that I have, I haven't read this book, but it's part of a series, and there is a main character who definitely fit. There's a couple, but there's one in particular I'm thinking of. And that is Age of Death by Michael J. Sullivan. I have said many, many times how he writes female characters, that they're varied. They have various personalities. There's soft, gentle women. There's like the strong, badass, cut your throat women. There's the good, wise leader type. Like there's just, you know, all kinds. Persephone, that's who I'm thinking of. Persephone is definitely a bad bitch, and she will absolutely protect her loved ones very fiercely. And this whole thing, like Neeks' whole thing with like being a bad bitch is someone who loves themselves and loves others and uplifts people and uplifts other women, uplifts other people of whatever gender. Like that is being a bad bitch. And Persephone definitely fits into that. The next prompt is Frosty Bitch. Read a book about a cold ass bitch. Doesn't care for anyone or anything at first, but comes around because we stan a loving person. And one of these is, again, recommendation from Neeks, and this book I already had requested from the library. I just had to pick it up. A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown, excuse me. I can't remember which character. I think it's this character on the cover. It sounds like there's a couple of different like POVs that we're following. At any rate, one character, she said, fits this for sure. And then this one is a book that I don't have this book yet, but it's part of this series. And I've already read this first book, A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette, and this second, I have the third book in the trilogy, but I don't have the second book yet. And that's the one, it's Breath of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. And yeah, the main character is just such a feisty, sassy, snotty bitch, but like it's very much all a facade. Like inside she's a softie, and it's like she knows that she's putting on this front, and like she's trying to convince herself that she like hates all these people, but they know that she doesn't hate them and she knows that she doesn't hate them, like one of those. So I felt like she would fit as well. I picked 2 books for everything because I was like, number 1, it's for a whole month, and number 2, you know, up my chances of completing all the prompts, right? If like one doesn't work for me or I DNF or something, I have another option. The third prompt is silly bitch. This bitch just does everything wrong. They could be handed the solution to all of their problems and they would throw it in the ocean. Read a book about a character who will not do what they need to do, but they figure it out eventually. I don't know if this will be the book, but one of the books in this series, I have 3 left. Yes. Suki, I mean, she's just a dumb bitch. She's not necessarily a silly bitch. She's kind of just a dumb bitch. But there are definitely times where there's a solution that she doesn't want to take, usually because she's doing moral gymnastics internally to figure out, like, should I'm hypocritical, I'm judgmental, I'm gonna be more and then whatever, she's just dumb. But I figured she would kind of count. Again, she's kind of more of a dumb bitch than a silly bitch, but I digress. And yeah, I don't know if it'll be this book specifically. I might read this one first before, well, how long do we have? I don't know, it depends on how the next week and a half goes. But if not, then it would be Deadlocked, the next book. And the other option for this prompt for me is Girls in Pants, The Third Summer of the Sisterhood by Anne Brashares. It has been a long time. I think I read this one. If I did, it's been forever, like probably over 10 years. So I can't remember if they're silly bitches, but it's the 3rd book, and definitely in the 1st and the 2nd book of this series, they're silly bitches. They are definitely silly bitches. And the 4th and final prompt is thirsty bitch. We are sex positive here, so read about a character that owns their sexuality. They aren't afraid to be intimate with someone or multiple someones. Now, one of the books from a previous prompt also fills this, and that is the 2nd book in this, Breath of
Fire? Wow.
Breath of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. It's adult fantasy romance, so there's some smutty times, there's some sexy times. And then this book that has been sitting on my own TBR for a hot minute, and it's actually like the 2nd book, I think, in this series, but I've been told that you don't have to read them in order. It's like in the same world with this group of friends, but each book is like a different couple, I think. So Dark Wild Night by Christina Lauren. It is a new adult, I believe, romance. So yeah, that will work. So there we have it. Those are the books that are on my TBR. So that's what, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. And I tend to read around like 8 or 9 books in a month, depending on the month. Like 9 has been pretty consistent this year. Most months I've read like about 9 books. So I figure I could probably do this. As always, thank you so much for your time. Leave a little emoji if you just want to say hey and you don't have anything else to say. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.